Howdy folks, cheers. I'm back down home, been up the north, and I'm refletching arrows. I'm getting rid of those for shields, which I never liked. I'm putting, here's what I did before, 3 helicoils on there. Helicoils? And funnily enough, made by a company in Ozarks. They're called Ozarks fletchings. Bit of a pink and blue fan, so putting pink and blue on there. It's incredibly simple. Wish I'd done it before. I've got a very, very cheap Chinese made jig. Cost me 25 euros from some archery shop about an hour from here that I went to last week to give the guy my arrows to get him to change them. Dude's been hunting with a bow for 25 years and had an archery shop for 20 years. The first thing he told me to do, he said, look, your knock lined up with your cock feather on 4 feathers, no, line it up in the gap. And that made a massive difference straight away. I don't know why I didn't think about it. Don't know why the blokes who mounted them like that. I mean, it's just fucking obvious. I always found that they kicked massively, and I don't know, they didn't fly great. And as soon as I ordered the 6 with the 3 parabolics, I could shoot the bow like I could shoot the chain. So my idea was to get rid of all these and change it. But I mean, they actually came out of there almost as good as the parabolics, just by flicking the knock round 45 degrees. I wish I'd done that before. I think I'd have broken a lot less arrows if I'd done that before. Anyway, I'm a bit of a 3 parabolic fan, so I'm switching them over. It's incredibly simple on that thing, and sticking another 25 grains on the front, because we did test with a 175 tip as opposed to a 150 tip, and they were coming out there sweet as. So I bought some tips. So I mean, I got out there for about 40 euros with my tips and my cheap Chinese jig, and all you need is a cheap Chinese jig. It's not actually complicated. So there we go. I'm building some arrows. I've been up north. I've seen the missus and the youngest, who are both on form. Youngest is right in the heart of his revision for the most important exams of his life. He's been working his socks off for 2 years now. So he's a bit stressed, but he'll get there if he can keep his health. I've got this old scalpel that nobody wanted at the golf club, and it's actually quite good for running up and down getting the glue off, which is a pain in the balls. That's the only lengthy process of this. The rest of it is very simple. I mean, this is very simple, but so there you go. If anybody out there has got a hint as to an easy way of getting glue off a carbon shaft, apart from running a knife or a scalpel up it. Jake Kaminsky talked about acetone. Don't have any. The guy at the shop said no way you put acetone on carbon shafts. But he's a bit anal. I reckon Jake Kaminsky's probably fletched a few arrows in his time. Put it in the comments, let me know. Elsewhere, there's been a couple of bucks barking at each other on that hill over there as the evening fell, which is good, but it's that time of year. My garden was good to get back to. Peaches are leafing massively. The mulberries leafing. I've got a my first pear blossom down there. The cherries are waking up, just beginning to leaf and blossom. Got a couple of apples that are blossoming. The broadies are all coming up, guns. The garlic is still great. And those little berries that I planted, what are they? The honey berries. Fuck me, they're loving it. I mean, all of them are happy as Larry. They've all flowered. They've all got little, what look like fruits coming. And they all look great, all of them. The only things that haven't really woken up in the garden that I've planted are the pawpaws yet, but you know, they got put in the ground a bit late. They're the only things that haven't really woken up. I put an old glass door against the wall as a south-facing wall as a kind of makeshift greenhouse, and I put a couple of trays of seeds of cabbage and red and yellow onions. I've come back and they're all popping up, and I soaked them before I went, and they've had some hot days, so they're all popping up. My tobacco's coming up a little bit. I'm quite excited about that. And that's it. The old guys have this here. In the north, it's all about the Saint Glass, which is a certain saint's day, and it falls around a certain weekend, a week. And I can't remember what the dates are. And they use that as when they plant their seeds. And I was talking to that with an old guy from down here, and I'm like, when do I put stuff in the earth? When are we guaranteed to have no frosts afterwards? And he said, when the hawthorn blossoms. He said, you know, when the hawthorn blossoms, that everything's going to be fine. He said, my granddad told me that, his granddad told him that, and this guy's already like 80 odd. And he's got a fantastic veg garden. So that's good enough for me. So I've got a hawthorn, and I reckon it's about a week and a half away from blooming. Funnily enough, the hawthorns in the north were further along than the hawthorns down here. In fact, all the trees were. The apple trees, there's a lot more blossom up there than there is down here. Which I didn't expect. I'm 6 degrees south of up there. An 8-hour drive, really, due south. So there we go. Everything's cool. Feel good. Happy to be back in the hills. Happy to have discovered that actually fletching arrows isn't fucking rocket science. And so I'm looking forward to, I think, you know, the masking tape that you put around walls. I think I'm just going to stick, I'm going to like strand it and stick a few strands around the front of the fletches. I've glued them, but I quite like the way that these guys do that. So I'm going to try that. If it doesn't stay on, then I don't see what would be wrong with sticking, you know, duct tape can get really thin. Thinning the duct tape round, just sticking 2 rounds of that on there as an extra security thing. Anyway, that's me. I'm good. Looking forward to shooting those. I'm going to leave them for 48 hours apparently before you shoot them. But I've got to make 3, and I've only made 1 because I'm drinking beer, listening to Bucks, and talking to you monkeys. Right, I'm going to get on. I've got another 2 of these to do, and I've got to eat. Cheers.